Hey, welcome back to SocioSimplified, the channel where we make sociology actually make sense. Quick question before we start. Who counts as your family? Is it the person you share a roof with, the people who share your DNA, the friends who feel closer than blood? Because here's the thing, sociologists have been arguing about this exact question for over 100 years, and the answer is way more complicated than you'd think. Today, we are breaking down everything you need to know about the sociology of family. Two famous definitions, the concept of kinship, and 10 different types of family that exist in the modern world. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need for your exam and probably a few wait, what moments along the way. Let's get right into it. Before we can talk about the types of families, we need to answer a more basic question. What even is a family? Sociologists have given us two famous definitions you absolutely need to know. The first comes from one of the most influential anthropologists of this 20th century. Meet Peter Murdock. Murdock actually studied 250 different human societies across the world. That's a lot of fieldwork. And he came up with a definition that became the gold standard for decades. According to Murdock, a family is a social group with four essential features. All four, not three, not two, all four. One, they share a common residence. They live together. Two, they have economic cooperation. They share resources, work together, support each other financially. Three, there is reproduction, and importantly, this has to be socially and sexually accepted by the wider society. Four, the group includes adults of both sexes plus their own or adopted children. Sounds reasonable, right? A mom, a dad, some kids sharing a home and a bank account, that's a family. But here is the problem. Murdoch's definition is too narrow. If you take it strictly, it leaves out a huge chunk of how people actually live today. Single parent families, not a family. Same sex couples, not a family. Childless couples, not a family. Grandma raising her grandkids, not a family. That doesn't feel right, does it? So sociologists needed a better, more inclusive definition, and that brings us to definition number two. This one comes from the United States Bureau of the Census. According to the Census Bureau, a family is simply a group of two or more people living together, residing together, who are related by one of three things: by blood, by marriage, or by adoption. That's it. See the difference? This definition is way more flexible. It doesn't demand that you reproduce, it doesn't require both sexes, it just looks at the relationship and the residence. This is the definition that lets us include all the diverse family forms we'll talk about in a minute. Before we jump into the types, there's one more concept you have to know. Kinship. Kinship is just a fancy word for the relationships that define a family. It's how we describe the bonds between family members. And there are three types of kinship: biology, kinship by blood. Your parents, your siblings, your biological children, you didn't choose them, biology connected you. Affinity, kinship by marriage. Your spouse, your in laws, you weren't born related to them, but marriage made you family. Law, kinship by legal bond. The most common example, adoption. No blood, no marriage, but legally fully family. So, family isn't just the one thing, it's a web of biological, marital, and legal relationships. Keep this in mind because it will come up again and again. Alright, definitions done, kinship locked in. Now for the main event, the 10 types of family you need to know. Some are traditional, some are modern, some might describe your own family. Let's go. Type 1, the nuclear family. This is the classic, a two-generation family, parents and their children living together. That's it. The nuclear family is seen as the ideal family, formed by two big schools of sociology, the functionalists and the new right. They argue it offers the most strength and stability for raising children. And according to US Census data, 70% of children in America live in a nuclear family. So it's still incredibly common even if it's not the only form anymore. Type 2, the isolated nuclear family. This concept comes from a sociologist named Parsons. Remember that name. He loves showing up in exams. Parsons noticed something interesting. As societies modernized and people moved to cities for work, families became cut off from their wider relatives. Grandparents, aunts, cousins, they all lived far away now. He called this the isolated nuclear family and gave it three key features. One, it is not connected to wider kinship relations. Two, there's a reduction of family functions. A lot of what families used to do, like education or healthcare, is now done by the state. And three, it's built on choice rather than obligation. Think of a modern young couple in a big city, far from their hometown, far from their relatives, building their own life. That's the isolated nuclear family. Type 3, the extended family. This is the opposite of nuclear. It's family beyond just parents and kids, and it comes in four flavors. First, classic extended family. Multiple generations under one roof. Grandparents, parents, kids, aunts, uncles, all living together. Common in many traditional societies. Second, the verticalized extended family, also called the Bimpole family. This term was coined by Brannen. Picture it, many generations but few people in each generation. Tall and thin like a beanpole, this is becoming more common as people have fewer kids but live longer. So you might have great grandparents, grandparents, parents, and one child all live at once. Third, the horizontalized extended family. Instead of going up through generations, this one spreads out. Lots of siblings, cousins, in laws, all in the same generation. Fourth, the modified extended family, a term coined by Willmott. This is the modern version. The extended family still exists, but members live locally or are dispersed. They keep in touch, but less often. Willmott called this attenuated. Young couples gradually separating from their wider family while still staying connected. Type 4, the single parent family. According to US Census data, 1 in 4 children today is born to a single mother. That's not a fringe statistic, that's a quarter of all kids. And of single parent households, the vast majority are female headed. The causes are varied: divorce, separation, the death of a partner, or simply personal choice. More and more people today are choosing to raise children alone, and it works. Type 5, the step family, also called the reconstituted or blended family. This is where families merge, usually after divorce, separation, or the death of a partner. Step parents, step siblings, step half siblings, all under one roof. Why is this so common? Two stats tell the story. US Census data shows over half of marriages end in divorce, and British social trends data shows that many people then go on to remarry, creating new blended households. It's one of the fastest growing family forms today. Type 6, common law marriage. This is a non ceremonial informal union. The key phrase here is by habit and repute, meaning the couple is recognized as married because they live as a married couple. Same house, same finances, same commitment, but they never officially registered, not as a civil marriage, not as a religious one. In some countries, common law couples get many of the same rights as married ones. In others, they get nothing. So, this is where sociology meets law and it gets complicated. Type 7, civil partnership. This one has a specific historical milestone you need to know: the Civil Partnership Act of 2004. This UK act gave same-sex couples the same legal rights and responsibilities as a civil marriage. It was a huge moment for family diversity, a legal recognition that family doesn't have to look one specific way. It's a great example of how the law evolves as society evolves. Type 8, the chosen family, also called the family of choice. This one is powerful. It's about non biological kinship bonds, relationships that may or may not be legally recognized but are deliberately chosen for mutual support and love. Think of close friend groups who function like family. Think of people who've been rejected by their biological relatives and built a new family from scratch. This concept is especially important for LGBTQ plus communities, where chosen family has historically filled the gap left by rejection. The lesson: family isn't always given, sometimes it's built. Type 9, single person households. Now, technically, one person living alone isn't a family, but it's a household form that's exploded in importance. So, sociologists track it closely. Look at this jump. In the US, single person households have doubled in the past 50 years. In the 1960s, only 13% of households were single person. By 2018, it was up to 28%. And in Britain, Beaumont's 2011 study found that 29% of British households were single person. People are choosing to live alone more than ever. For independence, for career, for choice. This is one of the biggest shifts in modern household structure. And finally, type 10, the broader concept of the household, sometimes called by its French name ménage. A household is just any group of people sharing a residence. It's a broader term than family because not every household is a family. There are two main types: family household, two or more people related by birth, marriage, or adoption; non family household, anything else, a single person living alone, a couple without kids, a shared house, what's often called a commune, where unrelated people live together. So every family is a household, but not every household is a family. Got it? Okay, let's do a quick recap before we wrap up. Today you learned the two key definitions: Murdock's strict four-part criteria and the more flexible US Bureau of the Census definition, the three types of kinship: biology, affinity, and law, the theorists you need to remember: Murdock for the definition, Parsons for the isolated nuclear family, Brannen for the beanpole, Willmott for modified extended, and Beaumont for British household stats, and the 10 types of family that exist in the modern world, from nuclear to chosen, from blended to single person. That, my friends, is the modern sociology of family. Now, if this video helped sociology make a little more sense, hit that like button. Seriously, it really helps the channel. If you want more videos like this, clear, simple, exam-friendly sociology, subscribe. We post weekly. And in the comments, tell me which type of family did you grow up in. I'm curious. Let's start a conversation. Next video, we are diving into Parsons' fit thesis, the theory that explains why the nuclear family became dominant in modern industrial society. It's a banger of a topic. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching SocioSimplified. Catch you in the next one.